Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, March 20th, 2017 meeting of the Albion City Council. I would ask if you have an electronic devices, cell phones, that you would put them on silent. And then also, as well, when people are come to the podium, please respect them and allow them to speak and don't carry on kind of side conversation. So I'm calling this meeting to... Thank you. I'm calling this meeting to order. We will observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bill, are you keeping us in the dark?
Okay, 1 second. Roll call, please.
Okay. Councilmember Barnes?
Here.
Reed? Here. Brown?
Here.
Lawler?
Here.
Spicer?
Here.
French?
Here.
And Mayor Brown.
Here. Are there any council member comments this evening? Councilmember Barnes.
Yes, I have a concern that we are acting outside of our charter. We are under a city manager type government, and we make decisions collectively. And I'm asking that the chairman and the council abide by the charter when we're taking actions or requests from our lawyer and our city manager, that we all be notified and be aware, because we work as a body of one. Thank you.
Councilmember French.
Thank you. A couple of announcements. Documentary films over the next couple of weeks are going to play a large role in the city of Albion's nightlife. Andrew Cohn is here in Albion for the next 3 days. Andrew Cohn's documentary film Night School, which tells the story of three folks from inner city Indianapolis and their struggle to get their GED certification. His documentary film Night School will be showing at the Bohm on Wednesday of this week at 7 p.m. Next Tuesday, the 28th, Atlas Industries Land Grab will be Tuesday the 28th at 7 p.m. also at the Bohm. Land Grab is the story of an eccentric finance mogul's dream to create the world's largest urban farm in his hometown of Detroit. And the political firestorm, and he unintentionally ignited by announcing that he would spend $30 million of his own money to build this farm in one of the most economically devastated neighborhoods of the bankrupt city of Detroit. So that movie is also at 7 p.m. on the 28th. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other council comments this evening? I'll just make a brief comment. Thank you to residents for your patience as we transition to the single hauler system. I know that some of the containers are being dropped off. I know that things have been placed into the mail. So thank you for your patience as we do make this transition. So seeing no other comments, we'll move on to presentations. Presentation A, recognition of sponsors for the cardboard sled race, Stacy Levin, Justin Reniger, and Chief Scott Kipp.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
For those that don't know, I'm Justin Reniger, and I was a committee member for the cardboard sled race this year. This year, the city with ADPS and the rec department took over the sled race. Unfortunately, Mother Nature didn't cooperate with us, and we didn't have a key component that we needed, that being snow. So we still held the creative design judging, and the winner of that was the Lucy Joe sled, which was made by yesterday's news. And Debbie Meyer was the...
Yesterday's news.
So tonight we'd like to publicly thank all of our sponsors that we received for this year. Obviously, it wasn't as big as we expected, but the money that we raised this year will carry over for next year's sled race. I've already talked to Mother Nature, and we've worked out a deal, so that won't be an issue. She assured me of that. So the sponsors for this year, we'd like to thank them. We have some certificates for them. If you are present and you are one of the sponsors, please come forward. Albion College Campus Programs and Organizations, Albion College Student Volunteer Bureau, Art Craft Press, Ashley Reniger of David Brigham Real Estate Company, Decker Manufacturing, Granger, Haas Trucking, Homestead Savings Bank, Knopf Insulation, Oaklawn Hospital. Oaklawn was a huge sponsor for us. They were kind of the premier sponsor this year and gave an extremely generous donation, so we thank them for that. Palmer House Inn Bed and Breakfast, the Harkness Law Firm, Tractor Supply Company, and Yesterday's News. Again, thank you, those sponsors. We couldn't have done it without you, and we certainly will use your donations next year, and hopefully, like I said, we've solved that issue. Also, I'd like to publicly thank Stacy. She was instrumental in this, and without her, it certainly wouldn't have went as well as it did. So thank you, Stacy. I appreciate it.
Item B under presentations, Marshall Public Schools update, Dr. Randy Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. Good evening to the council. Thank you very much for putting me on the agenda at my request. Recently, I was at I think it was the first meeting about how to market Albion, the city of Albion, the surrounding community of Albion. And in that conversation, I thought it was interesting that throughout the whole 2 hours we talked about it, not once did we talk about public schools. And I was afraid that based on that circumstance, there's a need for me to get the word out about where our public schools are at in regards to serving Albion and Marshall. And I want to make sure I bring you up to date on that. So thank you very much for the time. I think I'll stand here. So Marshall Public Schools investing in children throughout our eastern Calhoun County region. Different worlds coming together. We truly believe this. We've been doing this since 2013 with the advent of the cooperative agreement for the high school. We then went to the middle school mid-year. That was a challenging time, but things have stabilized very well with our middle school. I got to tell you, a shout out to our high school. Our high school has not had a fight the entire year among any peers, which is really outstanding. So the culture and climate is going really well. Obviously, the startup of Harrington has been a challenge for us to restart an elementary in a building that had been closed down, but we're moving that forward. Every day, the needle's moving forward. So we are creating a more relevant and diverse teaching and learning environment for our kids. And we ensure that all children have equitable access to a quality education, providing multiple pathways toward becoming both career and college ready, and as global citizens in the 21st century. We believe this. This is the direction that we're going. Investing in Albion through the state grants, we have been awarded $6.7 million from the state of Michigan relative to specific costs associated with this endeavor we've been on together since July 1 of 2016. $3.2 million of that are earmarked for paying off the debt for the Albion taxpayers. And it started with that check to Chemical Bank, I believe, and there's more to come. $2.1 million are earmarked for improving our facilities and grounds in the city of Albion. $1 million are earmarked for technology and security upgrades and for transportation enhancements we had to make because we've taken on this new part of our district. The remainder of the dollars are various costs associated with pre- and post-annexation, instructional equipment and supplies, PD for our staff, direct services for students, et cetera. We have used about 60% of the grants as of today. So essentially, we had the 4.2 million, then the 2.5 million for this year, out of this year's budget. So we were envisioning a PK-16 model, and we started out with this brochure that we had Maggie Lanou help us publish from Albion, and it was a really great first start. There's going to be some enhancements we have to make because changes are being made almost every day to this model. Our PK-16 model of career and college ready begins at pre-kindergarten, begins at early childhood. Goes through our elementary PK5 or K5, our middle school serving 6 to 8. Our secondary has 2 tracks. You can either choose as a traditional learner to go to the traditional high school or non-traditional learner to go to the non-traditional school, the Opportunity High School. We've embarked on some partnerships with the Department of Military and Veteran Affairs and the National Guard to provide Michigan Youth Challenge Academy, and now a new Michigan Job Challenge program for young men and women ages 16 to 19. Skilled Trades and Engineering Partnership, our STEP program, is still viable. We're still moving that forward. And Ag Sciences with FFA have just been added this year, along with a really brand new partnership that I want to share also. I saw that you had the press release on that in what's happening with Albion. Our early middle college for grades 11 through 13, and then the Build Albion Fellows that was in place prior to me coming, got forged between President Ditzler and the schools, the Albion Community Schools, and we're carrying on that tradition, and in fact expanding. So our pathways to opportunity, there's a lot here, but I'm just going to let you guys reflect on this, try to be brief. Marshall Elementary School is educating grades PK to 5. You know, we started with a line curriculum. We're working really hard to make sure that we have everything in place in all of our schools. In fact, the Harrington School has actually additional resources, more so than our other 3 elementaries. But we have reading specialists, we have school counselors, school nurses, balanced class size, all day, every day, kindergarten, special education, a CI program for elementary, which outside of the CISD, there's not too many districts that actually provide that themselves. Music, art, tech, phys ed. Co-curricular experiences with Annie's Big Nature Center and the big zoo lesson over at Binder Park Zoo. And our extracurricular programs like our symposiums, the swim lessons that our kids are heavily involved in right now. We're tripping our kids over to and from our high school pools because we have 2. And then we do a lot of community service. It's outreach to teach our kids. It's important to reach out and give to others. The Marshall Middle School, educating 6 through 8. We have academically ATIP with Western Michigan University. We have STEM and FIRST Robotics, sister city exchanges with Japan and now with France. MHSAA team sports, an opportunity to earn high school credits while you're in middle school. The summer student leadership symposiums, which you're well aware of, and our camp experiences. Aside from that, we also require all 6th graders coming in to take choral, instrumental, orchestra, and learn music in their 6th grade and then hone their skill and their interests in whatever direction they want to go after that. Then we get to our high school. Marshall High School for traditional learners, educated 9 through 12. We have our partnerships with Calhoun Area Career Center, Battle Creek Area Math and Science Center, and our ATIP program. We have our Skilled Trades and Engineering Partnership, Integrated Applied Arts Center, which not very many high schools hold anymore. They've let those go. And so we're getting quite a lot of accolades from Lansing about that. We have our FFA, that says FAA, but FFA and Ag Sciences, STEM and FIRST Robotics, dual enrollment, and our nationally recognized AP program. Full slate of MHSA sports. Our girls, sadly enough, lost in the semifinals, but they did a great job getting to the semifinals. We have numerous clubs and student leadership opportunities. Students hone their musical skills through choral, marching band, concert band, symphony, and orchestra, and the creative and performing arts. Marshall Opportunity High School is an alternative for non-traditional learners. It's right here in Albion. Skilled Trades and Engineering Partnership, STEM, Kellogg Community College's Advanced Manufacturing Assembly Training, or CAMA, and President Mark O'Connell is here in the audience today, and he's expanding that CAMA direction to try to have more of a connection directly to our young people in the high school setting. Dual enrollment toward career and college ready, and all of our Opportunity High School kids have a pathway to early and middle college. And then our Michigan Youth Challenge Academy, which is a statewide program for youth at risk of or already dropped out of high school. They're disengaged with the high school setting. They come and spend 22 weeks residential program towards GED completion, towards earning a Marshall High School diploma, returning to their home district for high school, or going into the military. And they're also earning 22 college credits from KCC while they're there. You can imagine the rigor and the robustness of these programs. In our Pathways to Career Attainment, we have Eastern Calhoun Early Middle College program. It's a combined 3-year program where students have to declare by the beginning of their junior year. They go 3 more years or an extra year for high school. In that time, they receive their high school diploma at the end of the 13th year, along with a minimum of 5 college credits earned up to an associate's degree earned through KCC, all free of charge to the participants in early middle college, all taken care of by the district. Marshall High School FFA is partnering now with Michigan State University and Kellogg Community College Consortium to create a pathway to post-secondary 2-year ag science certifications at KCC, and in partnership along with MSU, a 4-year college degree at ag science at MSU. They could go on for further schooling that way. We have not had that link and that pipeline up to this point. This is brand new and a new announcement to be made. Our Michigan Job Challenge program is a 20-week residential program at Fort Custer. They stay there working with the National Guard on skilled trades training at KCC's Regional Manufacturer Training Center for certifications, completing their GED. Some have actually got their high school diploma through Marshall because we educate those kids as well, and then possible job placement. And then Albion College's Build Albion Fellow Scholarship. I'm sure you're well aware it's a pathway for 10 graduating seniors that reside in the Albion area. They can go to any school that they see fit, but as long as they're residing here, they get a full ride 4-year scholarship to Albion College, and they give back in community service. We've had a number of students that have benefited from that each of the years that it's been in operation. And this is a great caveat. Interested graduates from Albion College in a particular field of study, if it's something that they can be certified to teach in, they can come back for a free post-baccalaureate program through Albion College, receive their training in the education department for their teaching certificate, and work with us in their internships. And then once they get certified, they have to make a commitment to work in our Marshall Public Schools to teach for a minimum of 3 years within the district, according to all normal contracts. If they don't and they market themselves elsewhere, they get a student loan payment that they have to pay back. But if they stay with us and they work with us, we're trying to get local talent into our classrooms. And I'm really proud of the partnership with Dr. Ditzler in doing that. So you can see there's a lot to be offered in this district. Not only, I didn't put in a slide about our performance, but we're the top performing district across the board in this region. We have expanded to serve, obviously, Eastern Calhoun County and Western Jackson County. We are actually serving the cities of Albion and Marshall and 11 surrounding townships. We now have 171 square miles. We're serving a population of 25,539, according to the 2010 census. And according to July 1st enrollment for registered voters, 17,932 voters. It's a big, big district. We're serving over 2,900 students, pre-K to 13, with multiple pathways towards post-secondary education for both 2-year and 4-year degrees, and then, of course, for skilled trade certification training and careers. Our community partners, Albion College, Kellogg Community College, and MSU. Now that we just added MSU, Star Commonwealth is a great partner of ours. Not only are they working with us in our professional development for diversity and inclusion and climate and culture in our classrooms and our hallways, they've also been a great partner with us with the student leadership symposiums that we do. Department of Military and Veteran Affairs and National Guard, regional manufacturers, AutoCamp, Borg Warner, Caster Concepts right here in town, Tribal Manufacturing, T1 Plastics right here in town, Tenneco, Eaton Corp, Upjohn's Workforce Development, and more are lining up. City governments of Marshall and Albion, Oakland Hospital, Albion Vista, and Albion Kids at Hope, Marshall and Albion Community Foundations, the Cronin Foundation, which recently awarded a $143,000 grant to the Calhoun County Land Bank to help do the demolition of Dalrymple. So there's an investment here. NAACP of Greater Albion and all the people associated in this room and around the community. The Frank Center for Performing Arts, Children's Theater, and many, many more. And so as I'm sitting there talking about marketing the city of Albion, you can't really effectively market unless you talk about the housing that's available in your community, the upsurge of the economic growth and development that's going on in your community, your public schools, and your public health. And so I'm asking that you set aside what your concerns are, find an opportunity to come talk with us about it, work with us. There is no better district in this region that you could possibly think about to market with the kind of flexibility, the innovation, and the support that we give our children from pre-K all the way up to career. And so I think it's time for us, it's a tipping point for us, to change this conversation, to change this dialogue, move this forward, embrace our district as our district. And let's get moving on the business at hand. As I said when I first started with this annexation, it would take 2 to 3 years to stabilize the elementary school. We're not even through year 1, and we have people making fast and firm judgments. It takes 3 to 5 years to stabilize what I just gave you and show cohesiveness and connectedness between all of those programs so that it's just second nature for our staff to think about, okay, you're in 8th grade, what is your pathway? How are we going to support you to be successful? So 3 to 5 years to get that taken care of. I'm asking you to give us time, continue to work hard in making sure that we serve your kids, just like we serve all of our kids in our district. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions from council on the presentation? Okay. Seeing none, thank you again. Item C under presentations, update from AmeriCorps Vista Albion Forward Survey. Danielle Nelson, Morgan Hall.
All right, hello, good evening. Again, I'm Danielle Nelson here with AmeriCorps Vista, and as you know, I'm serving the city of Albion. Unfortunately, Morgan wasn't able to join us tonight. She's actually over at another meeting over in Battle Creek. So just to give you an update on the survey, we are almost done. We'll be done surveying as of March 31st, so we've got 2 weeks left in the survey. We encourage anybody who has not taken it already, please do take it. So last time we were up here, we were talking about a diabetes cooking class and how the survey can actually help us to develop more programs and things like that with the nonprofits that we're serving. So we have the Albion Forward Survey. I've got a link right here. I'm going to keep it short right now because I know you all have a long agenda. So I highly encourage you, please, 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 everyone in the audience, take one of these, take the survey, tell 5 other people to take the survey because we're very close to hitting our goal. So, because if anyone has any questions about the survey or anything that Vista is doing. All right, I'm keeping it short.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move to public hearings. Item A under public hearing, proposed revocation of the liquor license for Cascarelli Tavern, Incorporated, 116 South Superior Street. And I'm going to open that. Public hearing for public comment for the public hearing. So if there are any public comments regarding this issue, come forward, state your name and your address. Okay. Seeing none. Okay, I'll close that. We will move on to item B under public hearing, proposed Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant application for the Albion River Trail Expansion 2 project. And I'll open that up. If there are any citizens or public comment on this public hearing item, please come forward, state your name and address.
Mike Behrman, 11016 29 Mile Road. I'm on the Trailway Alliance, and I've been working quite close with Danielle on a lot of this stuff. I tell you, right now, this trailway that we're putting across the county and tying both lakes together is something that is going to be bigger than a lot of us. It's going to be something that's going to bring economics development to the city of Albion. And to know that we're going after the grants and we got the money appropriated to guarantee the match, this is a no-brainer. This is something that absolutely needs to happen, and we need to be able to work through all of this and make a better life for our kids and that, because we need bicycle trails, and if we expect to get any youth to move back into Albion, we need to have alternate transportation programs and lanes for them and everything else. These kids are not the kids we've had in the past. These are the kids that want recreation and want to ride bicycles and stuff. And we're seeing that more and more all the time. So I hope you do go along with this and pass this.
Thank you. Are there any other further public comment on this item? Okay. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. We now move on to public comments. Persons addressing the city council shall limit their comments to no more than 3 minutes and on agenda items only. And we ask for proper decorum. Are there any agenda items, comments on agenda items this evening? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Thank you for allowing the children to join us tonight. My name is Sandy Kingston. I'm the principal at Harrington Elementary. I have Kamar and Sophia here, and they have some special gifts that they'd like to give to you. Go ahead. We practiced. You go this way. We practiced an hour ago. So these students are second grade students from Mrs. Perry's room, and part of the second grade curriculum is learning about local community, which is, of course, Albion. So our children learned about some of the local businesses. They talked about some of the things that they liked, all the different parks that are in this beautiful city, and the government that's here. We talked about economic development. We have a good job. Do you want to shake his hand too? You can shake his hand too. So these are the original pamphlets that the kids in the class made, and Sophia and Kamar actually took the initiative and they created the electronic versions, kind of a conglomeration of all of these. So these I'm going to keep for the kids and their parents, but they made these as a gift to the city council and to the mayor. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on the agenda this evening?
Hello, my name is Kelly Daisy. Do you need my address?
Yes.
506 Burr Oak.
Thank you.
I am here because I just wanted everyone to know that we have started a parent community organization at Harrington Elementary. It's called Harrington Helpers. We are working with the staff and parents trying to get volunteers in to have some more bodies in there, better adult presence on the playground. I know a lot of people in the community have been concerned with behavior issues, so that's what we're there for, and we're there to help staff and with anything they need help with. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we're working on trying to help as much as we possibly can.
Thank you. Okay. Seeing no other public comments on the agenda, we'll move forward to the consent oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought was someone coming. Okay. We'll move forward to consent calendar, and we're just going to do these as just one vote. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. We will move forward to items for individual discussion, and just one request from the council. This will probably take a vote for agenda item M. I spoke with the manager, and we'd like to modify agenda item M from just the discussion to approval. Is there a motion to modify that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote. We need 5 votes.
Councilmember Reed? Brown?
Yes.
Lawler?
Yes.
Spicer?
Yes.
French?
Yes.
Barnes?
I'm sorry, I missed, which item you on?
We're just, we're amending the agenda for agenda item M to.
Okay, I approve, yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. Items for individual discussion. Agenda item A, request approval resolution 2017-4, a resolution to object to the renewal of and request for revocation of the liquor license for Cascarelli's Tavern. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Do you want to?
Sure.
Okay.
Mayor and council, if you recall, we had instituted the process where if we had local businesses that also have a liquor license and were delinquent in their personal property taxes, that we would have some enforcement efforts in that regards. And what you have before you is the request relative to Cascarelli's Tavern. And I am pleased to also let you know that we have entered into a new repayment agreement, and he has made the initial payment, so he's in good stead as of today. So my recommendation is to approve the resolution with the understanding that as long as the terms are met, then there will be no further action required by council or administration.
Okay. Is there any discussion from council? Councilmember French.
Does that require a modification of the resolution? Or are we operating the same process that we did with FedCom?
Exact same process as FedCom.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. We'll move forward with a roll call vote.
Councilmember Reed?
We're voting on.
Oh, sorry.
Let me get clarification.
Okay.
To vote yes means you're for.
Yeah, basically, we're instituting the same,
You don't want it, you say no.
yes.
No.
Okay.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Lawler?
Yes.
Spicer?
Yes.
French?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
And Mayor Brown?
Yes. Agenda item B, request approval resolution 2017-07, a resolution for public posting of City of Albion job opportunities. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Well, I guess I'll start because I asked for it to be on there. So at our last meeting, there was some discussion about the process for how opportunities at the city were posted, and a desire for transparency and openness with citizens. There were some other questions about how this would operate relative to the union. So I requested that it be put back on the agenda for reconsideration. And between our last meeting and now, the city attorney, and I also believe the labor attorney that the city contracts with, was able to review the language. And so what we're voting on this evening with this resolution is basically if it's a non-unionized position, it's publicly posted for 5 business days, and if it's a union position, we basically will respect any negotiated contracts with the unions relative to internal postings, and if we do not select an internal candidate, that opportunity will be posted for the public for the same 5 business day period. So that's it for me. Councilmember Barnes.
In discussion, on Thursday, March 16th, we held a meeting, and during that discussion, the consensus of council was to remove references to union positions. I would like to ask, how was that added back in after the meeting without the direction of council?
It was March 6th.
Mark, yeah, I got March 16th.
That's the special meeting.
Okay. I think my date was wrong. March 6th, I got the 16th also. But now I can go with the March 6th date when we discussed this, and on March 16th, we also had some procedure questions. However, I can repeat the question again. When we discussed the postings of union and non-union positions, we decided collectively as a council we would remove any references to union positions because of the collective bargaining. Now this has made it back to the agenda item, and I'm asking, how was it added back in without the direction of council?
So, just a point of, I guess, a background on that. The council actually postponed the vote on it, so there was no, council didn't take any action. And I think the reason why it was postponed, because there was some concerns about how it might operate relative to the union contracts, but the attorney and I believe Rick Fanning, our labor attorney, have had a chance to look at that. So I received the green light, so I don't see any issues. So. Mr. Brown.
My concern again, that was a discussion on those dates, and the question was on the floor, should we or should we not? And the council stated we should not. There was no vote. It was a contemporary agreement among us that we would not use the word union because of they were in collective bargaining. However, whether that be real or imagined, again, I believe the chairman is overstepping his bounds by giving the lawyer a directive to place something on the agenda without the consensus of council or calling 1 or 2 more council people for agreement or clarity. We work under a city manager type government. We need to be informed of the resolutions before we get to the meeting that there's a consensus. The charter definitely states if I wanted to hold a special meeting, I need to get a second council person to state it and put it in writing that they want it. Why would this be any different from us being a city manager type government? We need to work together.
Are there any other comments from council? Any Councilmember French?
Thank you. Just a point of clarification, I think that the way we've been working as a council is that we get our packets 5 or 6 days in advance, and this resolution, which has been modified, is modified in a way that that I think expands what we had discussed last week, but I don't think I'm opposed to the language that has been added. I think that, and I can recall on numerous occasions, resolutions coming that we only see in the packet, that are brought to us by our city manager or by our mayor or some staff member about approving things that we have to then approve, whether it be expenditures or what have you. So, so with regard to not having seen it in advance, I'm gonna push back on that just a little bit, but, if we've had the labor attorney and the city attorney review this language, then I think we're protected from whether or not the union might come back and, you know, somehow use this as a bargaining chip against, the collective bargaining agreement. I think that, so I think I'm okay with this. Someone's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, is it, council want to speak?
Councilman Barnes.
Okay, I think you're missing my point. I can go along with the item also, the process. How did it get there? We're not talking about the content. We need to follow rules of some type of procedure and process. When I asked for the special meeting, which you seconded, I was asking that we do business on a daily basis through our city manager. And when it's time for the council to be restricted or make moves, there should be a process. I'm just trying to find out what process was used for this to get on. We can move on now. There is no process. There should be a process, as I stated in the special meeting. Thank you, and I'll end that.
If there are no other comments from council, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mayor,
Oh.
if I could just add, in regards to this, there was a resolution in your packet, and there has now been a substitute resolution that was shared via emails, I believe it was Sunday. So typically, when you're making a motion to adopt a resolution, it is the one that is published and in your published agenda packet. Since there is a change, I would recommend that your motion reflect that you are moving the adoption of the substitute resolution so that that is clear.
Yeah, I make that amendment because I requested it, so,
But you can't
yeah.
make that, because
Or I'm putting, actually, I
you
can't.
can't do that.
Is there a motion to do
There
that?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Second.
Roll call vote for the substitution.
Councilmember Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes, thank you. And so now we'll move to the vote for the approval of the resolution,
The new
Okay.
resolution.
the new one. yeah.
Okay. Councilmember Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
and Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item C, request approval resolution number 2017-10, a resolution to approve bid and entry into agreement with Franklin, was it Howder, for wastewater treatment plant improvements. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Moved and seconded.
Mayor and council, if you recall, we received from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and a special appropriation for the amount of $950,000, I believe it was, for the improvements that are required for our wastewater treatment plant. You had passed Resolution 201676 to retain the services of Fleece and Vanderbrink for the engineering services. They have since gone out to bid and have received the quotes, and the lowest appropriate bid was received from Franklin Hallwarder Company of Wyoming, Michigan, in the amount of $918,000. However, that would put us in excess of the amount that we received from the grant. So in addition to accepting the bid from them, we are requesting that The item that is considered less urgent is the aeration grid removal and replacement component, and that would bring the construction contract down to $881,000, which is only $7,000 above the original estimate for the project. So that's what you have before you, the approval of the granting of the agreement to Franklin Hallwarder, as well as the change order number 1 to remove the aeration grid removal and replacement from the project.
Is there any discussion from council? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward with a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Item D, request approval emergency purchase for City Hall elevator repair.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Well, Mayor and Council and audience members, in case you didn't notice, the elevator is broke. So essentially, we can do the small fix or the big fix. The small fix is we received the quote for the valve for $5,000. It's similar to when you're fixing an old vehicle. When you replace one part, most likely the other parts are going to become overstressed, and you're going to have to replace those as well in short fashion. So for the complete upkeep of the elevator, that amount is $17,445. So my recommendation to you is to authorize the emergency repair and for the designated amount of the $17,445.
Discussion from council.
Just,
Councilman Brown.
which fund does this come out of, just so I know?
This would be the general fund, and that would be under the building maintenance line item.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? I do have one question. Is there a warranty of some kind of, like, built into the improvements to be done?
Right, there's usually a warranty for the parts as well for the labor.
Okay.
Considering the age of the equipment overall, it's probably not an extended period of time.
Okay. Are there any other questions from council? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward with the roll call vote.
Councilmember Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item, excuse me, I'm sorry, lost my place right there. Agenda item E, request approval emergency purchase to replace and rebuild wastewater treatment pump.
So moved.
Moved and supported. Is there a support? Second?
Yes.
You seconded, okay. Moved and seconded.
Mayor and council, okay, the pump's broke. Ironically, to repair it is $11,975, and to replace it is $10,890. So my recommendation is to replace it.
Is there any discussion from council? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward with a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item F, request approval resolution number 2017-11, resolution to approve Holland Park equipment purchase for the teen section. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. You want to?
Okay. Okay, Mayor and Council, in regards to this, we're very excited. If you recall, we had received a grant from the Calhoun County Visitors Bureau for approximately $20,000 for the youth exercise equipment to be located at Holland Park. So we have received a quote, and although it exceeded slightly the $20,000, Greenfield Outdoors has provided us with a grant so that it does fall into the $20,000 amount that is provided through the grant that we received from the Visitor Bureau. The items are also in your packet.
Do you have any comment? Any discussion from council? Would you like to say anything? Okay, okay. Seeing no discussion, we'll move forward with a roll call vote.
Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item G, requests approval, resolution number 2017-12, approve Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant application for the Albion River Trail expansion, Part 2 project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded.
Thank you. Mayor and council, we're really excited about this. We're calling it the Albion River Trail Phase 2. This would be extending the trail going westward and even along Austin Avenues towards Marshall. So the cost for this project is a total of $340,000. We're asking for the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund to provide a grant of $250,000. The 25% match is $85,000, and we are extremely thrilled that the Battle Creek Community Foundation has indicated that they will fund that amount. So whatever we are unable to raise, they will cover that difference.
Great.
And that was the purpose of the public hearing. It is required for the trust fund grants, and this is the resolution that is also required to accompany the grant application, which is due April 1st.
Councilmember French.
Thank you, Mayor. Do you have a list of other opportunities for funding, rather than just sort of leaning on that promise? Are we going after other funding to match that $80,000?
Yes, you'll receive your request in the mail.
Right. I believe there's a lottery drawing tomorrow.
But that's a good question.
So I was just wondering, I mean, if there would be appeals to other more local philanthropic entities or the community foundation, things like that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Spicer.
Just a point of clarification. For the monies that we are unable to raise and that will be provided by by the Battle Creek Community Foundation, they will provide that with no condition of repayment from
Correct.
us, correct? Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, we will move forward with a roll call vote.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes?
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item H, request approval of annual mechanical amusement device, that should be licensed, for the following entities: Albion College, Leisure Hour Club, Pizza Hut, Red Box Automated, and Spartan Stores Family Fair. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded. This is,
Yes, this is the annual request that we receive from the businesses that operate these amusement devices within their establishments, and you have received them from Albion College, Leisure Hour Club, Pizza Hut, Red Box Automated, and Spartan Stores, also known as Family Fair.
are there any, Councilmember French?
I saw in the packet you gave us the list of people who had these amusements in prior years, or the business licenses, right? I see Cascarelli's Tavern as having had an amusement. They had a golf game in there at one time. Is that being discontinued? Will they make a separate application? I see here it says second notice mail, but.
They have not responded. Unfortunately, Jill is at a conference today, so if there's been communications, I'm not
Okay.
familiar, but I can provide you with an update.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions from council? Okay. Oh, Councilmember Spicer.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. We did receive a copy of the application in our packet, and I was just wondering if, someone noticed the date on the app for the, what's that? Family Fair, I believe. License year. It may be minor, it might not matter, but it is different and inconsistent with the other dates on the other app. Do you see what I'm?
Not yet. Where?
It's the actual application. Here's what the difference is. And the other ones say, it's just that the,
Instead of going through to 2018?
yeah,
Okay.
it says April 1st, 2017 to March 31st, 2017. I think we meant March 31st, 2018.
Yeah.
Just a point of
We'll note that
clarification.
correction.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, we will move forward with a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item I, request approval for annual commercial garbage service for, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support. Second.
Sorry, yeah.
Mayor and council, perhaps you're aware, but each year we require by our codes that anyone who wishes to engage in picking up of trash, that they obtain a license from the city. As you also are aware, we have converted the residential pickup for units that have 1 to 2 family units to a single hauler, and that being Granger. We still are permitting for the commercial pickup, so we have received 3 applications, and those being from Republic Waste, Waste Management, and Granger, who is asking for both the residential as well as commercial services license.
Is there any discussion from council or question? Seeing none, we'll move forward with a roll call vote.
Councilmember Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item J, discussion approval, first reading of ordinance number 2017-03 to amend ordinances ordinances number 66-139, solid waste fines. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Oh, okay. What we've done here is we've amended pursuant to our discussion at the last council meeting, subsection E of the ordinance. Instead of it, if you recall, it previously read that it was, for any person found to be not in compliance with, having refuse service at a residential premise, following a 10-day notice by the city manager, they could be assessed a fine of $100 per day. I've rewritten the ordinance, following our discussion, so that a first offense is a mandatory fine of $50 following the 10-day notice. I've modified the language for subsequent offenses such that a subsequent offense may be assessed a fine of $100, so it leaves it in the discretion of the city manager whether or not she's going to assess additional fines for subsequent offenses. Each day of non-compliance constitutes a separate offense. So the fine schedule now matches the fine schedule that already exists in ordinance 1-26. First offense is $50, which is mandatory. Any subsequent offense may be punished by $100 a day. It's at the city manager's discretion, and each day is a separate offense.
Are there any questions or comments from council? Councilmember Barnes.
Michigan has set a precedent by case law which upholds one hauler as not being a monopoly. Therefore, it's not legal. It's legal not to give residents a choice. However, Albion being a home rule charter, council has the authority to give citizens a choice. Council voted 6-1. I'm the one with the dissension not to approve the one hauler. Again, my frustration is after forcing this on the citizens of Albion without clarity or process, you're asking for amendment to add, change, or delete something. And my frustration continues because this was in the books all of the time. And I'm saying if we're going to act in the best interest of our citizens, we should know the language of the contract that we're signing with an outsource. We should know the language of the charter. Anything concerning the requirements, trash hauling, we should have already taken. And I'm frustrated over and over again that research is not being done before we straddle the citizens with situations like this. I had talked about amendments prior to the vote, and I'm frustrated. I don't want to see the citizens be fined at all. I think there should be some other measures based on some of the situations that they face, whether they're senior citizens who don't have anyone to get their garbage can. I've been getting calls about the containers on the street now. I'm gonna leave mine there. I don't wanna be involved. I'm just totally frustrated with this council. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Lawler.
Thank you, Mayor. As I recall, the agreement to go to a single hauler was by previous council, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Barnes.
That was true. Yes, we did as a former council bring it to the table, but the final vote was done in this room when I raised my hand and stated, this council can change it right now. We voted with this complete council 6-1 to take the measure. I had talked to the city manager, I had talked to other citizens saying, we do not have to approve it tonight. That very night that this resolution went through, this council could have voted it down.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes, Attorney Harkness, if I recall correctly, you explained to us that the final step for us to vote on was the actual contract. And had we not at that point voted on that contract, that would have put us in a position of legal liability. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that the council's last opportunity to not proceed with the single hauler would have been prior to accepting the bid with Granger. I think anything after that point would expose the city to liability.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move forward with a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember French,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item K, request approval for Knights of Columbus Annual Tootsie Roll fundraiser on April 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2017. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Support. Second.
Yep, moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mayor and council, this is a request from the Knights of Columbus, and they are asking to have their annual Tootsie Roll fundraiser on April 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is the 47th annual event. It's a statewide event, and they're asking for approval.
Any questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, we will move forward with a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Barnes,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. Agenda item L, discussion, agenda for a joint meeting with the Marshall Public Schools. I believe, well, I know, in previous years, there have been several instances where the council, the school board, and then administration from the council have gotten, or from the college, have met periodically, and so I think that there's a desire to do something like that. And one of the concerns that was raised at the last council meeting was basically to kind of determine some of the things that we'd like to discuss. I think for the sake of of time, it might be helpful just to, maybe we can ask the manager to, you know, send a formal notice to say, hey, we are interested in talking, and then to give ourselves a time, maybe at a work session, to kind of discuss those things, so we have to hash it out, you know, at 8 o'clock at night right now, so. Is, is that, is there any, would there be any objection to that from council? Okay, so do we need a official vote to?
We've not discussed. It's not a vote.
Okay, okay, so we can kind of start the ball rolling, those communications, and,
Okay, it would be helpful to me if the mayor and council members would submit the items that you want discussed to me so that I can share that with
Yep.
Dr. Davis.
that's smart. Councilmember Spicer, Brown, and Brown.
Just a point of clarification, that meeting will be scheduled with the Marshall Public School professionals, and as well as Albion College. Is that what we're?
I think, you know, I think, you know, we can always ask, but I think the initial was just that.
Okay.
Are there any other, Councilman Brown?
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted Dr. Mitchell to let us all know if there was a deadline that she would like those items sent to her.
If I could get that by the end of the week, that would be.
Okay, thanks.
The end of what? The end
Of the week.
This week.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to agenda item M, which has been modified to allow for actual votes or approval. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discuss it.
Mayor and council, if you recall, when we approved the budget in December for 2017, we did not include any street improvement projects because we weren't certain relative to the funding in terms of our match for Superior Street, and also trying to set aside funding for the reconstruction of Irwin Avenue. Because we were able to get some grant funding to offset our costs, our local match for Superior Street, we are recommending a small street project for 2017, and that being Ford Road for $102,000 and Turpinning Road for $107,000.
Is there, any- one second. One second. Are there any comments from council? Councilmember Barnes.
I would ask that the council approve it because we have a school there, and we do need that, you know, for our residents also. So I'm very happy, hoping we would do that.
Councilmember French.
Thank you, Mayor. I would second Councilman Barnes's comments by saying that for 5 years, I ran the giant slalom in my car on Turpinning, and I'm really looking forward to being able to make that trip without damage to my suspension.
Absolutely.
Are there any other comments or questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, we will proceed with the roll call vote.
Councilmember Barnes,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Spicer,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. We will move on to agenda item N, City Manager Report.
Thank you. Well, Mayor and council, I want to join in sharing appreciation for our sponsors of the sled race that almost was, and the competition. This was another situation where, you know, Albion folks were told, you know, something couldn't happen, or, you know, we couldn't see a way to make it happen, and our staff and the community came together, and it just shows what we can do when we are working together. So thank you to all of the supporters. Thank you for all of the staff that were involved and even stood out in the cold to grade and evaluate, and council members who were there. It was not a lot of snow, but it was cold. So we look forward to a really spectacular event next year. MDOT, the Superior Street reconstruction, is starting next month. There's going to be an open house at the Ludington Center on March 29th, so that's Wednesday, from 4 to 6 p.m. where MDOT representatives will be there to talk about all of the aspects of what's going to happen and when. So if you have any questions or you just want to see the displays so you have a better idea of what's going to be going on with the reconstruction, that'll be an opportunity for, and it's open to everyone. And if you recall, Sister City, at our last regular meeting, they had asked for a liquor license for a special event they were planning on having. The French chef come into town, and they were going to have adult beverages at the food hub. Well, the French chef can't come, so that event is at least canceled for now. Hopefully they can request it again in the future. And I want to remind everyone that the deadline for filing your income taxes is April 30th. The Board of Review will be convening on today, tomorrow, and the 23rd. And written appeals must be received by tomorrow at 5 p.m. The Granger service, it's a change, it's a transition. Some people love it, some people not so much. But I do want to thank all of our department heads and staff. They've been at the front line answering questions and trying to help people to navigate this change. So thank you to all of the staff who've received less than pleasant communications sometimes from our residents. But they have remained respectful and tactful and trying to be courteous at all times as we're providing the best customer service we can. I'm looking forward to when the first trash pickup happens and people are happy. And I do want to remind everyone that the yard waste will also be collected the first week of April, so you don't have to wait until the fall to have your lawn clippings or limbs or leaves collected. So that will be starting on April 1st, the week of April 1st, that Wednesday. So the leaf collections will be on Wednesday. Public Safety, Officer Aaron Phipps and Reserve Officer Jeff Pardee have graduated from the 2017 Calhoun County Fire Academy. So now we have a new officer on the road. So we're looking forward to his involvement. I think he had to fight a fire his first day going solo, so he's had an exciting first day on the job. Recreation has a number of activities going on. Is Larry Williams still here? Where are you, Larry? Larry does such a phenomenal job for our recreation. All of our programs are expanding. And we're truly excited about the things that are going on with recreation at the Albion Community Center, which is housed in the Marshall Opportunity High School, and it's a tremendous partnership with Randy Davis and Marshall Schools. We're really thankful for that opportunity. The open gym for adults is Thursday, March 9th. That's gone. The youth open gym continues on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 9. Water aerobics, which is growing by leaps and bounds, it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 to 7:30. Krista Clement, a talented dancer, and she is going to have a solo performance on April 1st at 7:30 at Ludington Center. So we encourage everyone to visit that. There'll be some local performance as well. Youth baseball travel teams are being formed and registration is available online. The annual Easter egg hunt is late. Will be held on April 15th from 12 to 2 p.m. at Victory Park, and they're looking for sponsors and volunteers for that event as well. And the annual Daddy-Daughter Dance will be held April 21st at the Albion Community Center as well. Just to update you on the Albion Building Authority, they have reached a rental agreement with the EDC, and we're still working on the final terms for the rental agreement with the Albion Community Foundation. The Economic Development Corporation has changed their next meeting date from April 6th, and it's been rescheduled to April 13th at 7:30 a.m. We were talking about marketing of the community, and the community work group will be meeting tomorrow to work on a common plan that we can have relative to marketing in Albion. And if you recall, I sent you an email in regards to Michael Trotter and his wife Tanya. What's the name of the group? War and Treaty. They're a phenomenal local group. They happened to be traveling from Chicago, stopped in Albion, and just traveled around the city, fell in love, have planted their roots here, and now they are Grammy Award nominated. And they're going to be filming a video for their next release. So that'll be coming up the week of April 10th. So look out for that, and we'll have crowd sing. So we're really excited that this will be another effort to market Albion and the wonderful musical talent that we have here. Let's see, Isman House is having a fundraiser on April 8th from 2 to 4 p.m. That's Sunday. It's an accessory trade and spring lunch fundraiser, and there will be some celebrity hosts there, including the mayor. And Maury, did you confirm?
Yeah, I think he's.
I probably will.
Okay. Glad to have you on board.
No pressure, right?
And the council is aware, we've been working on the capital improvement plan so that we can identify over the next 6 years the infrastructure improvements that we want to make, as well as the heavier equipment that we need to be purchasing and how we can plan for that. So a public hearing is being scheduled for tomorrow at the Planning Commission, and then their recommendation will be coming to you at your April 3rd meeting. And this is also related to the ICE grant, where we're hoping to get funding to assist with the Isman Street reconstruction as well. Irwin Street. The Albion Chamber and Visitors Bureau is having their annual dinner March 28th. And those are the big ones. NAACP, the local artist is here for the night school presentation. So that's going to be at the Bone Theater March 22nd, and I do believe there's another public event as well for him. That was today.
Yeah, there was a public event this afternoon from 5 until 7. The director of this and producer of this film will be in the Ludington Center second floor executive suite in an office, having open office hours. So if anyone's interested in having a conversation with him, feel free to just stop by the Ludington Center tomorrow. There will also be opportunity on Wednesday. The film is being shown on Wednesday, of course, but he will be in the building as well on Wednesday.
And in closing, the Calhoun County Senior Fair will be at Marshall Middle School Gym on April 6th from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. That concludes the report.
We'll move on to agenda item, I always cross these out. O, future agenda items. Are there any Councilmember Barnes, Councilmembers Barnes, Brown, and Spicer?
I'd like to have Austin Avenue Initiative placed on, please. And the Mount Albion Iron Site, please.
Okay. Councilmember Brown.
I would like to schedule a work session to finish our goal setting.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah. Would next Monday work?
Well, that depends on if you wanted to have it facilitated or not. My understanding that Patrick McLean is not available till April.
I think what we had was, we have things categorized. We just need to probably rank. So I'm sure that we can do that, because I don't want that to go too far out.
So was there a date you were looking at again?
I was just thinking about next Monday. That's an off Monday.
Ooh. That's the night of the Love Albion community-wide book discussion at Ludington Center at 5:30, although if it was at 7, it would still work.
So,
7? Yeah.
we do 6:30?
7?
What we can do, we probably could just, rather than kind of hash it out here, let's probably do like a doodle poll. But, you know, did you have it? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Councilmember Spicer.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to have some current information with regard to the two buildings on North Eaton. That would be the former Burger King and the former Ponderosa building. There, we need to just get some info updated on that. Thank you. And additionally, if we could get some info possibly from the Michigan Department of Transportation, with regard to the blinking light on Watson Street and North Eaton again, and Clark Street and Michigan Avenue.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely. Thank you. How?
I was just gonna say the 90 days of the study are up, so I don't know, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Lawler.
Thank you, Mayor. Were we going to, by next meeting, have a date? Hopefully have a date to where we can meet with the
Oh.
MML lady?
I think the tentative
Does
date
that
was the
need to be on the
22nd.
agenda, or will you?
The tentative date is April 22nd.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we just wanted to have, some more time to kind of,
So we don't need that on the agenda, okay.
yeah. But thank you. Are there any future agenda items for council? Okay. Seeing none, we will move, oh. Go ahead.
At some time in the not too distant future, the Director of Planning and I attended a workshop on the new regulations for medical marijuana facilities. And the council recalls we have a moratorium on those facilities presently, and so we wanted to update the council as to what we think the best course of action would be.
Okay. Thank you. Would that be a work session? You just want to do it during council?
No, just do it during council.
Okay.
It's not gonna take very long.
Okay. Thank you all. Moving on to, well, everyone's here. So we'll move on to public comments. Persons addressing the city council shall limit their comments to no more than 3 minutes. We're asking for a proper decorum. Public comment.
Frank Pasick, 900 South Eaton Street. I received my new dumpster this past week. I'm sure many people have. It's a brown dumpster, Granger. The thing I noticed was the lid was concave. It was like this, about two inches high. It was open. You couldn't shut the thing, and I'm thinking maybe rats and rodents can get in there. It'll blow open or stink. And so I took 5 historic 1940 Superior Street bricks, put it on top, and let it sit there all weekend, and it's fine now. But I went up and down the street and I looked at others up right on Eaton Street, and they're like that too. Several of them are, some of them aren't. I'm guessing they put them on top of each other and it did that. But if anybody's having problems, you can stick 1940 historic Superior Street bricks on top, 5 of them, and let it sit all weekend, and it should take care of the problem. I'm sure everybody else is having that problem too. Okay. So we want those to be shut, so it doesn't stink and animals can't get it. The other thing I heard that we were going to have the leaf pickup, they could only be 30 gallons, and they also had to be biodegradable, is that correct?
Right.
Can you purchase those in Albion? If you can, I would like to propose that those biodegradable bags be purchased, be available here in Albion rather than having us to go to Home Depot to get them. Yes.
It's my thank you. It's my understanding that Tractor Supply will be carrying them.
Okay. I hope there's some competition in this town
Yeah,
for
that
selling
would be
those things, because they've got a captive audience, and maybe we can get a better deal at somewhere else, or there, depending. So that's why I wanted to bring up about the garbage here, because I saw several of these, it's about 2 or 3 inches, some of them, they won't close. So, and I don't know if Granger's aware of this or not. I didn't call them because mine's all right after a weekend with those historic Superior Street bricks on them. So, thank you.
Are there any other public comments? Oh.
Willeen Snyder, 201 Ford Road. I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. We have dealt with this for a long time. I know we're not the only street in town, but it's been rough, and I mean rough, so thank you very much.
Willeen Snyder. Yeah. Yeah. Mike. Did someone turn the air on?
Mike Behrman, 11016 29 Mile Road, Albion. Wanted to say thanks for Marshall to come over and speak tonight and give us a good update on what's going on with the school. I do have a child in the school, and I hear nothing but good things from her. Also, on a little different matter is, I know that the room here is small, but when you got so many people standing and you've pushed the walls out where you can't see, and a lot of people were outside, it's really disrespectful for those people. And it's very hard for the disabled to get up here, and I don't know how that works with your, the laws on disabled people laws, because I tell you, it was very hard to walk up the stairs, and I'm not gonna be able to do the project that we talked about at the, park, but you've gotta make sure that you're starting to pay attention to the people that are having trouble getting around. Thank you.
Just for a point of clarification, the elevator's out of service, so we just approved that, so hopefully we'll be back online fairly shortly, so. Are there any other citizens, public comment?
Good evening.
Name and address.
Marva Powell, 116 West Pine Street, Albion, Michigan. And I was wondering, what is happening with the old Austin School? I mean, first they had a realtor sign there, and I see someone's taking it away. Then this past weekend, I saw some people walking around looking at the building, and I don't know whether they purchased it or what. I'd just like to know what's happening with it.
I believe the building is owned by the land bank. So it's not controlled by the city, so, yeah, I think, that's not a city property, so. Councilmember French.
I can give a little bit of an update, I think. Land bank officials were walking around both it and the Dalrymple School. In the last round of land bank auctions, both those properties were bundled with a whole bunch of other properties so that it would be maintained by the land bank. They're looking at doing an assessment on how much it's gonna cost to demolish the Austin School. So that's probably what the people you saw walking around the building were taking a look at size and making estimates for its demolition. So that they have that price when they go looking for either state funding or other grants from down, they'll have an accurate price for its demolition.
Okay. Seeing, Mrs. Showers.
Showers, 805 Valhalla Drive. You said they're gonna tear down Austin?
The goal is, at the moment, to find out how much it would cost to demolish it. It is condemned, it is unsafe, and so it's and they have not found a buyer who's interested in buying it to repurpose it for some purpose.
Austin or that?
The Austin School under the water tower?
Yeah, what we'll do, because this is public comment, so I'm gonna let her comment, and then if someone has questions, we can talk.
Talk after.
Yeah.
Okay. So they already gonna do, Dalrymple?
I
Oh, you
think,
do?
I think what the manager informed the council, I guess, was it early this morning?
Yeah.
I'll let you,
Yesterday.
yeah, about Dalrymple.
With your permission, if I can respond to both properties. In regards to the Dalrymple, we did receive a report that there was a partial roof collapse. It is also owned by the county treasurer at the present time, and the land bank is in the process of getting bids for the demolition. Part of that, as was mentioned previously, was made possible through the grant from the Cronin Foundation. In regards to the Austin School, it is also owned by the land bank. I believe they were trying to find some developers with the possibility of making that mixed use. I haven't heard the last in regards to that. If they are unable to find someone who is able to realistically redevelop that property, they will need to, again, proceed with demolition, but I haven't received an update relative to how they're going to approach that building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing no other public comment, can I ask for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.